AM 1130.
Welcome back to Up and Atem. I'm Jack Tomzak. Yes, that Jack Tomzak.
Yes!
The one from the radio. And that is Andrew Lee over there.
I'm still a little...
Pull it together.
Still a little emotional from the last segment. You know, we obviously can't spend the whole show on
Giving,
things like that. And you know,
feeling, emoting,
right,
hurting.
We have to,
yeah.
But we do have to devote some time to give back to those that have given so much to this state.
That's true. We're givers.
Absolutely right. Joining us now in studio from the CityPages is Ben Johnson.
Hey, it's good to be back, Jack.
Thanks for coming in. We appreciate all that you do for us. An hour of content I don't have to come up with. Let's be honest. That's what this is.
Where's my GoFundMe page?
You need to suffer more. Are you you pulling in $144,000 a year?
I'm making less than what Dwenick is making.
Pre-raise?
Yeah, pre-raise.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both.
You and most people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's right. So,
How's he possibly going to get by?
come on. He's pulling a page out of the leftist handbook with, well, it's a daycare issue.
Right. It's, it's not about me.
Right.
It's about my kids.
The whole Rena Moran bill about companies need to provide 3 weeks notice for changing a schedule is built around people need to find daycare. I get that. It's tough. That's the playbook he's using on this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
Really?
Right.
Really, buddy? That's the prop. Daycare? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working over 40. You know, I expect government leaders to work more than 40 hours a week. If that's the standard by which you're deciding how much you're going to work when you're leading something like the Met Council or in charge of there's nobody in the private sector in charge of anything that big that's looking at the clock and going, well, that's 40.
I'm the low man on the totem pole around here. I
Calling it
work
a
more
week.
than 40 hours a week. You work
Everybody
more than 40
does.
hours a week. Ben, though
It's
he's
called
probably
wage theft, you guys. It's gonna be legal soon, okay?
It's a real issue. That's 40. Time to stop working.
It is kind of funny though. Like I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when he found out that his tripling of his salary
was going away.
Yeah. I wonder what your reaction even is if they're like, actually, psych. That's not gonna happen.
I wonder if Governor Dayton said psych. That'd be great. It shows that he took the job knowing that he was getting the raise.
Of course, yeah.
He took the job knowing that it was not going to be part-time and it was not going to be $58,000 for very long.
Yeah.
Because if he's already saying, well, I don't know, I might not be able to work as much, then what were you expecting when you took the job, a month and a half ago?
As I was hatching this heartfelt scheme last night, my lovely wife, an attorney, said, "What? Looking at what Dwenick is making, why did I go to law school? I picked the wrong career path."
Yeah.
I said, baby, I picked the same career path, political hackery as Atem Dwenick, and I'm not there. You picked the wrong career path and the wrong side.
Right.
All right, let's
Jumped on the wrong bandwagon.
I blame Rod Grams for that. All right, let's get to Ben Johnson's news from the CityPages. Ben, what have you got for us this week? I told the listeners you're going to tell us how not to break into somebody's house and steal their weed.
Yeah, and something about jiggling men.
And if you'd like to see what Ben Johnson from the CityPages looks like, we have the video feed from Central Media Services at our Facebook page and on our Twitters, but also you can go to centralmediaservices.com/upandAtem to see the video.
Well, let's start there with Jiggly Boy was his name.
What is a jiggly boy? I mean, no, you know, Andrew.
Kevin Garnett made his triumphant return to the Target Center.
Hadn't heard.
I don't know if you guys have heard it all, but and there's kind of this fan favorite from years past. He goes by the moniker of Jiggly Boy. And it's
is that a self-given moniker, or is that something?
You know what it is? I found his YouTube page, and he titles his videos, Jiggly Boy.
How long has KG been gone?
Let's see
7 years.
Those
so this
videos.
guy was Jiggly Boy 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And had to dust off the lack of shirt.
Yep.
7 years later, maybe his life has changed.
Well, he's got 2 kids now that were kind of serving as his backup dancers. I have a couple of videos up there on citypages.com, but he was like a fan favorite at the KG return game where
even more than that guy who sits on the on the sideline banging a piece of paper on the floor?
You know what? I haven't seen that guy for a couple years.
He's like the only thing I remember from when I used to watch
the
basketball.
guy who slaps his program.
The guy that I thought, hey, man, stop it. It's annoying.
I wonder what the players thought, man. You talk about workplace harassment. No, but Jiggly Boy, he's a shirtless dancing guy. He wrote "Welcome Back, KG" or "Welcome Home, KG" on his chest, and he's just going to town. He's a pretty good dancer, actually.
You'd have to be to get this type of notoriety.
I think I made it's like Chris Farley's Chippendales audition. It kind of reminds me.
Chunkendales.
Rape.
One of the best sketches ever.
Oh yeah, it's a good excuse. I linked to that too. It's a good excuse to go back and revisit the old Swayze Farley tag team there. But it turns out he's the president and co-owner of Brave New Workshop.
I emailed him last week to interview him on my podcast.
Oh, really?
So he's a real performer.
There you go.
He knows
Yeah,
what he's doing.
that
Mike
makes sense.
Sweeney is his name. And so I did a little post on the return of Jiggly Boy. So if you want to go check out his shirtless dancing antics, and his two kids, his background dancers are quite, they're cut some rugs too. So
Andrew, can I say the A word on the radio?
You just did.
No, I didn't. I said A word. Not to reveal my own potentially jiggling, burbling, fat buttery, but this guy's not that chubby.
No. He's got work to do.
No, there's a...
I could out jiggle him.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
Jiggle off.
we have the
Go to GoFundMe.com/jiggle off.
It's 50 grand.
Yeah.
I'll out jiggle him.
Have you guys ever been shirtless at a sporting event?
Never.
No, God,
Are you
no.
kidding?
Like in college, you never painted your chest.
Not one that I wasn't participating in.
Right. Yeah.
Put it
And
that way.
there's no videos without an age filter which on the internet. You can see those. No. We're playing the video on the stream, centralmediaservices.com/up and Atem. No, never shirtless at a sporting.
No.
Never that drunk at a sporting event. Ever.
Okay.
Or that much of a professional improv
Never quite
artist.
understood the whole, hey, let's take our shirts off in public
No.
thing
No.
that some guys are prone to do.
You roll into my house around 2:30 in the afternoon, you're going to get a surprise.
Right.
But never in public. When I was in college, we used to go to, there was a house where we would go to, that was like the hangout place after the bar, or instead of the bar, we would go and party. And without exception, 11 o'clock, 11:30, after many drinks have been had, a certain contingent of my friends decided it was time to take their shirts off. I never got it.
Never.
Never. It's like, none of you guys are particularly fit. You're not enticing anybody here. No, I don't. Shirts are there for a reason, so I wear one or two.
Well, let's keep with the amusing idiots theme here.
That's three so far this show. It will be.
I found kind of this. I went down the rabbit hole in the internet.
Place.
Yeah, and I found a bunch of pictures of Target shoppers who don't know how to use shopping baskets.
When I saw the title of this post, like, what are you talking about, Ben Johnson, you rascal?
And it went kind of viral. BuzzFeed picked it up, and I went
nice.
on Imgur.
Imgur, huh?
Yeah, it's a photo sharing site.
I thought it was
and
Imgur.
Imgur. I don't know how
I'll trust you. You're younger than me.
Anyway, there's like at least 6 different pictures of people who don't know how to use shopping baskets at Target. Instead of grabbing the basket and carrying it, in your arm, they grab the entire rack and drag it along with the basket at the bottom. Now, this might work if you have wheels at the bottom,
Sure.
but they're just dragging it.
I actually own a product that is essentially a basket with a long handle that has wheels on the bottom. I own one of those. That makes sense. That's a product that exists.
Is that like a wagon then? Is that
Sort of. It is a small crate-like wagon. It's foldable. It works until you put too much stuff in. But this is not that. This is clearly just a rack for baskets.
Yeah.
Eric, let me know if you get the picture of this on the video feed.
Yeah, it's on the,
CentralMediaServices.com.
on the video feed right now.
Well, I could sort of get somebody who's checked out of their brain completely. And if there's one basket at the bottom, seeing this as how it's supposed to go. But you've got a picture here. The woman is dragging one of these around that's got 10 baskets in it. It's clearly a rack for baskets meant to be stationary.
And like, what if you wanted one of those baskets? You tap her on their shoulder.
Excuse
like,
me, ma'am.
Could you just?
No, I'm
lift
using
yours
all
up?
10.
Yeah.
I'm
I
going
need
to fill them all
of
up.
these.
And like, why not just grab a cart? Like,
Right.
It's just mind-boggling. I really. So I went to my local Target in Northeast Minneapolis, and I was kind of scoping out the aisles. I was like, is this a thing that I don't know about? Like, couldn't find anybody. I stopped a couple employees and showed them on my phone. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen this? And they're all just like, no. And I'm like, well, would you stop somebody if they're dragging it? And I talked to 3 people, and they're all like, probably not.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Hi,
Excuse
you're a
me.
dumbass.
We'll just let that one go.
Yeah, they probably got bigger issues going on if they
Unreal.
can't figure out
That's
a
funny.
basket. So that was kind of the fun, weird post on Monday there.
Keep in mind, these people are the same people you share the freeway with and vote. When we return, more with Ben Johnson at the City Pages.
The Obama years have been nothing.
That is Andrew Lee.
Up in Atem, Minnesota.
Go to centralmediaservices.com/Up at Atem to see the live video feed, or you can find the link on our Twitter or Facebook accounts. My Twitter is at Jack Tomzak.
Mine is Andrew Lee TCNT.
Mine is at Radio Dylan 1.
Nobody asked.
Yours is Captain Fingerpaint.
Also, find the GoFundMe.com effort to keep Adam Dwinink working full time. Let's raise $86,000 for this man whose wife makes $123,000 a year.
I've chipped in my donation.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think he's a valuable member of our community.
According to the GoFundMe page, no, you have not.
Hold on.
Don't send money in because that might create problems
Is there-
for me.
Can we have an update? Do we know what?
$0 so far.
Oh, okay.
We've
So
raised.
it's
Dig deep.
It's time to stop being sad for this guy.
This is a bit of a test of the free market.
Right.
We can see how much Minnesotans believe that he really should be making as
Absolutely.
much as he needs to make
Absolutely.
by digging into their own pockets.
All right, in studio is Ben Johnson with the City Pages. We're going through your stories, Ben, of amusing idiots.
Yeah.
What is that song?
This is the original bumper music.
Thank you. You can turn it down now.
Hey, congratulations, Dylan, by the way.
Hey, thanks, man.
I,
Appreciate it.
How was the vacation? Was it pretty good?
Oh, it was wonderful.
That's good to hear, Dylan. But speaking of Twitter, when are you going to follow me?
When I don't follow you yet? Oh God, what's your Twitter
I
handle?
come in here every day.
Well, I don't get followed by
Carrying
RuPaul.
that.
So what's your Twitter handle?
I'm Johnson Ben D. Johnson Bend. Yep.
At Johnson Ben D.
Johnson Bend.
Yep.
Yeah.
At Johnson Bend.
There you go.
Not Bendy Johnson.
Didn't I follow you? I thought I followed you.
Dylan, I've been carrying this forever, and I just feel like I needed to get out in the
Awkward.
open.
You know what? No, thank you for calling me out on that. I'm sorry.
And if you need a
I
little
should
bend in
have.
your Johnson, find Ben Johnson on Twitter at Johnson Bend.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
No problem. I'm here to help.
Oh, all right. So,
Clearly.
keeping with the hapless idiots theme,
Okay.
there's a man in St. Paul in April. He ladders up above the home video over in St. Paul off of Stillwater Avenue. He climbs into an unlocked window of an
Sure,
apartment above there.
Reasonable decision to make.
Inside, he finds several garbage bags full of weed.
Wow.
Wow.
He starts stealing these bags.
Did he know that they were in there? Is that why he was
the day before, I guess, according to the charges filed by the Ramsey County attorney, the day before, one of his friends said, hey, you should go check out that apartment.
Bags
There's
of weed.
valuable stuff in there.
Bags of weed up there.
Garbage bags.
Unreal.
So he's stealing these garbage bags of weed, and he's climbing back out the window when somebody yells at him. It's about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. Somebody yells at him.
Hey, stop stealing my bags of weed.
Maybe. And he falls out the window. Slips, falls out the window, and breaks his femur.
Oh God.
Somebody finds him, calls the police. The police show up, and he's got a big cut on his forehead and a broken femur, and he's surrounded by garbage bags full of weed.
It's not mine.
It's my cousin's.
You know, you'd think you'd say that just because why not? But according to the charges, he just moaned and said, I stole that.
I'm just holding it for somebody.
Just straight up admitted to the police he stole that. He said he was sorry, but he was poor and he needed money. So
Sure.
Yeah.
And weed.
he decided to steal several garbage bags full of weed, fell out the window, broke his leg.
Oh, that's awful.
You got greedy.
Yeah.
Or stupid. Why don't you just throw the bags out, then follow them down on the leg?
Yeah, you got to get
He
a.
fell out of the window stealing weed.
Yeah.
Well, at
Way to
least he's
keep
got
up.
at least he's got the weed. I mean,
It's got the
I don't think they let
medicine
you keep
right
your-
there.
yeah, he could. You don't need to. You just smoke, and I guess that'll take care of the problem.
It looks like, according to the picture you've got here at citypages.com on the blotter blog, that he may have banged up his forehead a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a pretty gnarly scar.
Yeah. That'll be a good story to tell your grandkids.
What were you doing? What was weird though is that the charges. This happened last April, and he was just charged this week. So
Why do things take so long?
Yeah, I was like, geez. But apparently, the investigators were trying to track down the owner of all these garbage bags full of weed before they charged
Well, they
him.
know what apartment it came out of.
Yeah,
Just wait there.
right.
I should have been a cop.
Yeah, real great investigative mind there, Andrew. But
How are we ever going to find the owner of all this?
should just like stay by his apartment and wait for him. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the guy must have been tipped off or something. They never tracked down the owner of this weed, and he wasn't too anxious to go and retrieve it from the police.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm guessing somewhere in the bowels of the St. Paul police station, there's
Bags of weed.
big
Yeah.
bags of garbage
A
bags.
garbage bag of weed
But since April,
has got to be worth.
I have no idea.
They said
I
it
have
was
no
between
context.
80,000 and 800,000.
Wow.
It's quite the window.
I was
Yeah.
going to say
Depending
somewhere
on the
between
quality
like 20
of
and
the weed.
30,000, like
Oh,
for
no.
a garbage bag.
Like a hefty
I'm just guessing.
gallon garbage. No, it's way more than that, pal.
I don't know anything
It's
about
been a while. You've
drug-
been out of the market for some time. It's
for literally weeks, Andrew. I don't know anything about how much drugs cost.
The pot market fluctuates quite a bit.
Well, it's a regular business cycle, and of course, with
Sure.
Mark Dayton's leadership on the issue, the economy here and prices. Does weed go bad? Does it dry out? Like if you have a pack of cigarettes that you've let sit around for a long time, after a while
They get stale.
They're gross.
Right.
Does weed get
no,
gross?
it does not.
It probably, I don't think it gets gross, but I would imagine it loses some potency.
All right, Sizzler, here's what you're going to do. Get a ladder.
Okay,
Go down to the St. Paul Police Department.
will do.
Break in at
Okay.
night and see if you can get some of that weed.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Kang Yang looks like a winner.
Yeah, he looks like he had a tough time on that ladder, and yeah, we'll see what happens. He was charged with felony burglary. That's one of those words I could never say.
Burglary?
Burglary.
Burglary.
Okay.
Burglary.
There you go. You guys can take it from
Well,
there.
you type. That's your job. To
Yeah, I clacked the keyboard.
I can't
spell. That's actually the dirty secret. I'm a professional writer. If it's more than 6 letters long, I don't even try. Just and then autocorrect.
Right.
I mean,
Well, it always fascinates me when you get an email you see on Facebook a word that's misspelled. It's like computers are built to prevent misspellings every single time.
you know what that red line means, right?
Right. That means you spell it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's talk about something cool.
I thought that was cool, but okay.
Garbage bags are pretty
Broken
cool.
leg. Come on.
Yeah. Weed is cool.
Minnesota's
Man.
The first man in Minnesota just received a bionic eye implant.
Oh, sweet.
Alan Zadurad, 68-year-old from Forest Lake, had a successful surgery where it's pretty incredible. I have a diagram up at citypages.com, but they implanted a 6x10 grid of electrodes inside his eye, and then a pack of electronics and an antenna on the outside of his eye. Now, he looks through a special pair of glasses with a camera. That goes to a small computer on his hip, the size of a deck of cards, and that's transmitted. That image is converted and transmitted into his eye, allowing a blind man to see.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Had we known this was coming, we would have the $6 billion man song playing, but we didn't. So does it look like a robot head?
No,
Cyborg?
you know what?
Cyborg?
I thought it was going to look like a Terminator type of helmet
Yeah.
thing or something.
Or the Borg something?
It just looks like a
what
pair
Geordi
of like
LaForge wore in Star
Oh,
Trek.
yeah, there.
yeah, like something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like he's just wearing a pair of those, those like blue blocker shades.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, they look kind of like Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And there's a really touching video. Kara Levin actually was in the room when he did it when they turned on the machine for the first time, and he saw his wife for the first time in 10 years.
Oh, neat.
So, really, just technology is pretty amazing. Now, it's not like he's got a HD crystal clear picture coming in, though.
Sure.
He's seeing like a 6x10 grid of light. So like I spoke with somebody at the company that developed this this implant. It's called Second Sight. And he likened it to like looking at like a crappy analog scoreboard,
Sure.
with the light bulbs. But
That's a start. They'll perfect it.
yeah, and when
at some point.
I talked to Mr. Zitterad, he said it's really just the simple things you take for granted as a sighted person, like walking through doors without having to touch and reach, and doing chores around the house. Like now he can do that, but he can only keep it on for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. Because he's using muscles in his brain, that
Oh,
have
sure.
been-
It's exhausting.
Yeah, so still, it's science these days is it's pretty incredible.
That is neat. And there's this video you've got here is from Care 11. And it's the first time he's seen her ever?
No, he had a degenerative
Okay.
condition.
It's been a while.
Retinitis pigmentosa, and so his eyesight just kind of got worse and worse throughout the years, and he hadn't been able to see anything for the last decade.
Wait, what was it called?
That's neat.
Retinitis pigmentosa.
But you can't say burglary. Okay.
Well, it's like, have you ever seen those videos of little kids getting some type of, what does Rush Limbaugh have, the cochlear implant thing? Like little kids hearing their mother's voice for the first time.
Those are so adorable.
It's touching. This is a neat video, a neat story.
Yeah, and actually, this process was based on the cochlear
Oh, really?
implant. Yeah.
Neat.
So really some fascinating stuff. Talking with the the guy from Second Sight, they've sunk like over the last 20 plus years, hundreds of millions of dollars into developing it, and now they just started rolling it out as approved by the FDA January of last year.
Cool.
About 100 people worldwide have this. First Minnesotan though. So
I don't
awesome.
know. I don't
That's
know
great.
who's a bigger hero, the doctors who made this, the guy who has it and is using it, or Met Council Chair Adam Dwinink. I don't know who's who's the bigger
keeping with our
person.
heroes theme. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Good for this guy. That's neat. Very neat.
Something else a little more science-y or something I found interesting was this week at Minneapolis City Hall, there's a big battle going down between two cable operators. Comcast, one of my least favorite entities on earth. I've spared no opportunity to rip them, which I always do well.
That sponsorship for
I
this.
was just gonna say, well, there's that.
Ben
All right, you
Johnson,
guys aren't-
CityPages, brought to you by Comcast.
You guys aren't
No, we're
owned
not.
by like a conglomerate or something.
We are owned by the biggest conglomerate, biggest company in the world. This one.
Yeah, well,
It's
okay.
this one.
So maybe Comcast is a competitor, and
I have no idea, but
I'm going to keep ripping them.
no,
I don't care.
There's a reason they're called Xfinity now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Comcast has had, through various other companies, has had the only license to operate cable TV in Minneapolis since 1983 when the original wires were laid. Minneapolis has never had any competition in the cable market, ever.
Okay.
For the first time ever, CenturyLink is trying to come in and compete and build its own network.
Good.
And yeah, competition is good, right? But Comcast,
What side do you vote for?
You know what?
We'll get you eventually. Happened to Rupar too. He had to quit his job. I'm way too reasonable to work at the CityPages.
So there's a state law that mandates that a new cable provider has to cover the entire city it comes into within 5 years. This is to prevent cherry picking. So cable companies don't just come in and build out their network in only the densest or the wealthiest neighborhoods in a city.
Okay.
Back to this equity thing. I don't know where you guys
The
feel
easiest
about
place
that.
to make money.
Yeah. You have to build out to the whole city. Now, CenturyLink says that's just not reasonable. We can't build out our whole network to serve the whole city within 5 years. And this lobbyist at the hearing at Minneapolis City Council straight up said that's why you haven't had competition since 1983, because this is an unreasonable requirement. Waive this requirement, and we'll come in and compete. And tell you what, they said, we'll promise to cover 30% of the city right off the bat, and then move up quickly after that once we hit market share thresholds, which we're confident we will hit. The thing is, they won't tell the city council where that original 30% is going to be.
Sure.
It's not going to be in North Minneapolis, I'll tell you that right now. They say that's a trade secret, and so they can't...
That's tricky. I'm inclined to say that there should be no rule like this, and folks should be allowed to, that CenturyLink should come in and
be able to serve who they want to
where they
serve
want to.
at the pace that they want to serve at.
But Comcast had to jump through the hoops initially to serve the more expensive customers, and CenturyLink is not going to have to do that, right?
Yeah, but do we want competition or not? Because with these current regulations,
This is the problem when government starts treating things like cable and, internet service as a public utility. Mm-hmm. Instead of just private businesses offering services
they're never going to treat the internet as like a public utility.
Oh,
that's crazy talk.
Were you taking a nap yesterday?
Except for yesterday. Yeah.
Overregulation, government, cable's not a public utility, but it gets treated like one. And I get it. I mean, there's a combination of arguments there because they do have to use public infrastructure to deliver their products. Mm-hmm. You can't get cable to households without using some public infrastructure existing already.
That's what they're lobbying at City Council right now is to use public right away.
Right. And you have to. And, like with electric companies, do you want, 25 electric companies vying for your business and wires, coming in and out of your house all the time? There's some nuanced arguments there, but this is a result of overregulation of the cable industry.
Let's take Kirsten. Got a comment on this. Kirsten, is it Kirsten, Kristen, or Kirsten?
It's Kirsten. Hey, Jack.
Hey, what's going on?
Living the dream.
All right.
So this NAP issue has come up several times, and what we can't do is we can't divulge where we're building because that's obviously proprietary information for CenturyLink. If we tell everybody exactly where we're going, what's to prevent Comcast from going in and locking up those customers in 5-year contracts and preventing us from selling. So it is a trade secret. And I'm sorry, your guy from CityPages, what's his name?
Ben Johnson. You can follow him on Twitter at JohnsonBend.
Hi, Kirsten.
Hey, Ben. I can say with a certain degree of confidence that we are deploying in every single ward in Minneapolis. I just can't say where, and I just can't say how much.
Okay. All right. Well, best of luck to you. Competition is a good thing.
Any questions while we got CenturyLink on the line, Ben?
He'll keep ripping Comcast and give a deal.
Thanks for calling in, Kirsten.
Thanks, guys.
All right, more with Ben Johnson at the City Pages when we return.
This is Up and Atem on Twins.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jack. That's Andrew. And, of course, that is Ben Johnson with the City Pages. Follow him on Twitter at JohnsonBend.
I just picked up a ton of followers, actually. I should do that every week.
Yeah. You should cheat. I can't believe you didn't make your Twitter name Ben D. Johnson, though. I mean, come on. No, it's right there.
You know how many Ben Johnsons there are? I honestly went through and I was like, Ben Johnson 1, Ben Johnson 2, and I was like, Johnson Ben 1, Johnson.
Blame your unoriginal parents for that one.
Right?
Yeah,
Come on, Mom.
It's the username. Why
Actually,
you're getting so many
my dad is
Twitter followers.
He's a convert to the show since.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Does he lean our way politically?
Smart man.
Are you the disappointment?
I think he does. I think he's more apathetic than anything. You know.
Is he a local guy?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wonderful. The actor Donald Glover, he was on Community.
Mm-hmm. Funny guy.
Yeah, his Twitter handle was Don Glover.
Mm-hmm.
Dong.
Sure.
Dong.
Lover.
Oh,
Right.
God,
Yeah.
I get it.
Eventually changed that.
That was smart of him.
Johnson Bend. All right. Bendy Johnson.
Crazy that handle wasn't taken out of all of them.
What have you got? What's left for the City Pages? You know what, Andrew? I got to start showing up at 6:04 every day.
She makes the show fly by, doesn't it?
Just flies
that adrenaline
by,
rush as
adds
you
an urgency to
yeah,
it. It feels
exactly.
like this hasn't even
Yeah,
happened.
don't do that to me.
It's like writing on deadline, you know, when you look up and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I get way too stressed out.
You know, I'm going on vacation in April.
If I know you're not going to be here, it's fine. It's 6:03 and nobody's here yet. What the hell's going on? That stresses me.
Just going to be you and Dylan for a couple hours?
No, I'm gonna bring in
What?
No.
Why can't
God,
it just be us? Why not?
I would listen to that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think a lot of people would listen to that.
the Andrew and Sizzle show.
It would be a fight for 3 hours.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd survive the first episode.
Hey, nothing is going to make me look more relevant and smart than that.
The withering glares going back and forth would be amazing.
All right, Ben, what else have you written about this week?
So I'm looking up at the TV right now, and according to the morning news, it was -5 out still.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's freezing, so I was going to go with a little bit of an ice theme here. I talked to a business owner. This just posted this morning on CityPages.com. I talked to a business owner, Mike Hilborn, who owns Roof to Deck in St. Paul.
Okay.
Ice dam removal is what he does
Oh,
in
sure.
the winter.
Well, you can hear that when it says roof to deck. You think ice. Anyway.
Well, he based out of St. Paul. Not a lot of business this winter. We haven't got a lot of snow.
Okay.
Just it isn't working. So he originally goes to Chicago. He packs up 11 vans, goes to Chicago after they have a big storm in early February. Then he ships out to Boston, with Boston getting hit with, I think yesterday they just surpassed 100 inches of snow. Second most all time.
I saw earlier this week they were at 105. Maybe it's different areas.
Depends on, I'm guessing,
Right.
yeah.
It's 5 inches.
105 inches
Just getting
of snow.
hammered by snow, yeah. So
Man, that's a lot of snow.
So he takes his business out there. He originally brings 11 vans, and then he realizes, holy crap, nobody out there knows how to deal with ice dams. He says that contractors, and actually I found a picture of somebody leaning out their window, like hitting their ice dams with a hatchet.
You're not supposed to do that?
Apparently that's a no-no. He said
On your roof?
he's seen people standing on their roofs with sledgehammers.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah,
that's damn.
Don't do that.
So
I'm from Florida, and I know not to do that.
Call Roof to Deck and ask for Mike.
yeah, so he says all of a sudden business is just going bonkers. He gets the Boston Globe calls him up, is like, hey, this business just came out here. All of a sudden he is doing just insane business at $595 an hour. He's charging out there.
Holy cow.
He has 4 more vans drive out. He buys 8 more, and then he rents 3 U-Hauls, and he just hires people, and trains them, and he just is like trying to do as much business as possible. He works from 4:30 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Wow.
every day for the last 2 weeks.
4:30 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So that's, hang on, let me do the math. 10 to 10 is 12.
Plus
At
6.
5.5, 16,
18 hours?
Yeah, 15 and a half hours a day. So he's hitting 40 hours after like 3 days
But
as well.
then
So
he
about
keeps
Wednesday
going.
midday, he he shuts down because he's past his 40 hours.
You know what? If I'm raking in $5.95 an hour, though,
Yeah, but this, sure, he's the owner, he's the boss. And if is he doing the work himself, or is he managing and orchestrating and stuff like that? That's a long freaking day if you were the one doing the work. That type of work.
But in a business like that where your window of time when you can make money
hay.
is limited,
Yep.
Come spring, he's done. He's got to make as much as he can between now and then. So yeah, no, I'm sure he's
he said they
he's
did
full bore.
Good for
500 buildings
good for him.
in 10 days. And I spoke with him yesterday, and he said it's already winding down. It got warmer up there. And he said now other businesses in Minnesota have caught on. They're starting to come out there, and he's
Sure.
like, hey,
Too
man,
late.
yeah, it's over. But
It's capitalism, baby.
that
That's
is
great.
like he went out to Boston, bought some vans, like got going immediately. And I mean,
Phyllis
he
Kahn is
declined.
currently writing a bill to get ahead of it.
Should have
right
been
now.
regulated.
Yeah,
You
it
know
should
what?
be regulated.
Yeah.
Minnesota's
Make
not
sure.
getting a taste of this, so there should be some way we can get a little tax revenue from this.
Tax him for his business doing work in another state.
How dare that state go to another state? And
Andrew, myself, and your dad think this is wonderful that this man's out there making money.
so do I. I mean, that's a brilliant capitalistic move, and
There's an old lady leaning out of a window with a full-size axe.
with an axe, yeah, like a hatchet. It's so. Yeah, I think it was just like kind of a entertaining, cool kind of capitalistic story of this guy that went out and probably made his bills in 2 crazy weeks.
Yeah.
For the year. But there's some capitalism for you.
That's awesome.
Keeping with the ice theme, are you guys going to go check out the Apostle Island ice caves this Saturday when they open?
No, I would love to. It seems really neat, but no, I'm not gonna. I got kids, man. It's a lot to plan anything.
I went out there last year, and I was shocked at how many kids there were. Like, it was pretty annoying. I'm not a huge fan of kids.
Until you have your own, and then after you have your own,
Oh
kids
my
are
God.
annoying.
Kids are the worst.
They're so awful and adorable, little butts.
But that was the big announcement this week. They announced that the Apostle Island ice caves for the second straight year are going to be open. Last year was kind of a cakewalk. There was a lot of snow.
Cave walk.
there was a lot of snow on the ground, so it was basically just hiking, walking on snow. This year they called it very treacherous. It's all smooth ice, and they're recommending ski poles, boots, and ice cleats if you're going to go out there.
You ever been on a lake that there's no snow when it's all ice?
Quite slippery.
Yes, wear skates. Are they charging people to participate in this?
They are this year. Last year they didn't. This year they're charging $5 for people 16 and older.
Which that's not going to break the bank, but should you have to pay to walk on Lake Superior?
Well, I think they had to hire extra staff, to keep everybody in line, supervised. I mean, it was packed. You got thousands of people there, and all of a sudden now you're paying all of your park rangers are working, more than 40 hours a week.
Oh no.
But I'm worried
That's
about.
horrible.
So I think they instituted this to kind of recoup some of those costs.
Well, user fee. I just hope owner of Roof to Deck, Mike Hilborn, doesn't catch wind of this, get up there and just take the whole thing down.
Just steam it away.
Yeah, gone.
Steaming all the. Actually, a lot of the icicles look like ice dams. If you take a look at some of those pictures.
Well, it's all ice, Ben.
Icicles they only do one general shape, I
Just
suppose.
kinda pointy.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, and I would love to. I really do need to get up there at some point. Maybe when the young Indiana will be old enough to remember it. But it's a neat thing.
Yeah, it's I went
Gotta
up
buy
there
some
last
ice
year,
cleats.
and it was pretty memorable. But like for the first, if you do go up there, I'd say for like the first mile, maybe half mile, it's all kids and it's super crowded. But if you keep hiking, 2-3 miles down, A, there's cooler caves, and B, there's nobody there. Everybody puts their kids in the sled and they do like the quarter-mile loop or whatever.
Right.
So if you are going out there, I'd recommend to just walk past everything,
Sure.
keep going, and
I won't.
yeah,
I've got kids.
And it's cold.
It'll be a mile.
Well, you
And
bundle
at some
up,
point,
though.
you
I
got to
mean-
carry them. At some point, you're carrying.
they get tired, they're cold, they're crying.
And they never account for the walk back. How you doing? I'm good. How you doing? I'm fine. And then when you get to the end of the journey, I don't want to be here anymore.
Right.
And then you have to walk the entire way back.
I actually took a picture last year. I should have put it on the CityPages post, but there's a dad, and this looked like one of these fitness dads, but he actually had a sled
I can relate.
like roped to it. Okay. Wow. Sorry. He had like a sled.
He's like, yeah, okay. You can hear it in his voice.
Super mean. I'm sorry.
Hey, just cherish these moments. This is the last time you'll ever be on. No, we don't like to do all that work. Go ahead.
This dad, though, he had a sled roped to his waist, and then he had 3 kids sitting in the sled. And he was just like powering back, and
Now we
that.
can relate.
Yeah.
On the physical part, can be difficult, but it's the when their mood sours that it gets. How many kids are left out on the Apostle Islands?
At the end
5 kids.
At the end of the cave, there's also the pile of kids.
Yeah.
Hey.
I told the story a month ago. We went down to Eden Prairie for their ice castle thing,
Right.
and I waited in line for the porta potty for as long as my wife waited in line to get tickets and get in, and it was cold and an hour and a half, 2-hour affair that had I known how awful it would have been, I wouldn't have gone. Glad I went. Glad to have it in the rearview mirror. But yes, I'll wait a little bit on the old ice caves,
Yeah.
or I'll just go without my kids.
There you go.
Do that.
Yeah. Hey Ben, what are you doing this weekend? You want to watch my kids?
No.
Smart answer.
I mean, well,
And they're good
what
kids.
are you paying? What's the free market going rate? What does a babysitter make down?
Are
What do
you
guys
under
allow?
$30
an hour?
If you're under 30 and unmarried, I'll pay you. Are you under 30?
I am under 30 and unmarried.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
I'll get you pizza. And flowers on Valentine's Day.
Pizza in a
It's
case or
mostly
what?
young women who babysit for me because I pick the babysitters.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Wow.
I only
And I
think-
don't trust a single young man that I know to babysit my kids.
Tell you what, you put a pizza on the counter.
Yep.
Case of beer in the fridge.
Yep.
I'll watch your kids.
My man.
What are you going to drink? All right, what's next?
Give me your Netflix password.
Keeping with the ice theme, I stumbled across a really cool concept.
I stumbled.
I stumbled. Got it. A really cool concept being debated by Edmonton City Council called the Freezeway.
Edmonton, the Canadian Edmonton?
Yeah, up there, eh? So this 29-year-old landscape architect named Matt Gibbs, Edmonton had a big winter festival to try to create ideas to get through the winter. Big kind of bold ideas where we can celebrate winter rather than being the miserable mopes that we are.
Is alcohol illegal there?
That it is a lot more expensive though. My brother went to college in Canada, and it was crazy expensive up there.
Why would you go to college in Canada? You come back here and your degree's only worth 3/4 of what you got.
It actually is. College is really cheap in Canada though, and we have reciprocity with Manitoba. So there you go.
We have Manitoban reciprocity.
I can't say burglary.
No, you can't. You can't even come close.
No, but I could say reciprocity, Manitoba, all those words.
So I'm snagging that for my band name. Manitoban reciprocity.
But
so what is this Iceway?
This freezeway concept?
Freezeway?
It's a path, like a bike path. Actually, this guy wants to connect. They have two greenways, kind of like our Midtown Greenway, big bikes path. And he wants to connect them, skirting the edge of downtown in the middle, with a path of ice, basically, you can skate on. So you could, ice skate 11 miles, this thing would be.
Because people are dying to ice skate for 11 miles?
Right. I would love that. Are you kidding?
Would you really?
Well, not maybe for the whole loop, but to ice skate to work.
You just want to ice
in the morning?
skate? You can go ice skate.
Are you serious?
Yeah, ice skate downtown.
5 below, dude.
What if you forget your
realize
shoes?
that?
Yeah, it's freezing out.
No, but when you're ice skating, you stay pretty warm.
Then you show up to work, you're all sweaty. Is this going to cost Edmonton taxpayers any money?
No cost estimate. It's still very much in the dreamer conceptual stage, but I thought it was a really cool idea.
Huh.
I called Minneapolis to ask them if they're considering anything like this, and they said, no.
You guys ever thought about spending a bunch of money on something that's going to melt in a few months?
You got to ask the questions. I ask the tough questions.
Yes, you do.
How much would this cost?
No
don't
cost estimate.
Don't know yet.
22nd.
All right, thank you very much, Ben Johnson with City Pages. Go to citypages.com. Check out the blotter. You can read all the stories there. Also follow him at JohnsonBend on Twitter. For Andrew Lee and The Sizzle, I'm Jack Tomczak. Thanks for listening.
You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it. You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
Here's a look